Lehtinen for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to recognize the important efforts made by the Kurds and the Peshmerga in the fight against ISIS. Secretary of Defense Ash Carter said last December that, quote, "The Kurdish Peshmerga have been exactly what we have been looking for in this whole fight in Iraq and in Syria, namely a capable and motivated force that we can enable," end quote. And as you know, Mr. Speaker, we need to do more to combat ISIS on the ground and also to help our allies who are willing to join us in this effort. ISIS is a brutal evil, and it is one of the greatest threats to both our national security and to the security of our allies in the region. We continue to read reports of ISIS raping women, beheading captives, and brutally torturing their prisoners. And ISIS's alleged use of chemical weapons against the Kurds in Iraq and Syria reaffirms the danger posed by this terrorist group. During the conflict against ISIS, the Kurds tell me that at least 1,600 Peshmerga forces have died and thousands more have been wounded. And we see some of these pictures here on this graphic. We are thankful to all of the members of the Peshmerga who are fighting to eradicate the evil of ISIS, including several all-women units who are proud to fight for their people's freedom. This is the hardships that they all endure. Unfortunately, the Peshmerga still don't have the proper weapons, most of which is over 30 years old, and they're still running low on ammunition. In fact, the Peshmerga are using captured ISIS tanks to roll through minefields, while ISIS is using American equipment that they have picked up after overturning Mosul. I am proud to be an original co-sponsor of the legislation introduced by the chairman and ranking member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, which would authorize the direct provision of weapons to the Peshmerga, a bill which our committee passed unanimously in December. The Peshmerga have already proven to be one of the most capable forces on the battlefield, and making sure that they are strong, making sure that they're well-equipped is crucial to defeating the ISIS threat that confronts us all. The Peshmerga are continuing to fight despite not being paid for months, with uncertain logistical backup, and with inadequate weapons and equipment. 3 strikes against them. The Peshmerga need our help, and we must get them what they need in order to have them continue to be successful. The Peshmerga provides safe havens for Muslims, for Christians, for Yazidis, for people of any religious minority who have been oppressed. And according to the Kurds, about 300,000 Syrian refugees and 1.5 million internally displaced persons are in the Kurdistan region, where there is a growing humanitarian crisis. And I will turn to the other poster that I have, Mr. Speaker. Their fighting forces, the burden of war, and the responsibility of caring for 1.8 additional people, 1.8 million additional people, push the Kurdistan region's economy to the brink of collapse. My friend Igor Pasternak recently briefed me on his visit to the Black Tiger Peshmerga base south of Mosul on the ISIS front line, where he introduced me to the Kurdistan regional government's representative to the U.S., Bayan Sami Abdul Rahman. Ms. Rahman's parents were sentenced to death by Saddam Hussein because they refused to bow down to his tyranny, and instead they fought for Kurdish liberation and for human rights. Her parents lived to see Saddam's downfall, and her father continued his leadership role in the Kurdish region struggle before being tragically assassinated by Islamic extremists in 2004. In the Iraq city of Erbil, Sami Abdul Rahman Park honors Ms. Rahman's father and, more importantly, recognizes the immense oppression suffered by the people of Kurdish extraction. I am pleased that the KGR Representative Rahman is in the gallery today. And, Mr. Speaker, in closing, I'd like to announce that I will soon be introducing a resolution to honor the brave men and women of the Peshmerga and their families who are fighting bravely against the brutal evil of ISIS, and to stand with the Kurdish people as they continue to endure great hardships during this war. God bless each and every one of them. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the time.
Gentlewoman's time has expired.